Hello and welcome everybody to a new Heroes of Might and Magic free video, where today I shall be playing a game of Jebus Cross. It's gonna be a mock match up against the AI, and I will be playing Castle, and I will be explaining everything that I do, why I do it, and will tell you the general tendencies of what you should do in your games. This is meant to be a very informative video that will teach new people how to approach the game and what they should be looking to do. So let's get right into it. We shall be going over to new scenarios. We shall be generating a random map based on the Jebus Cross template. We shall be using a pretty long time format so I can explain everything that I do in pretty great detail. The timer that is used on online matches is the chess timer. It is comprised of 3 numbers: the starting timer, which is going to be 16 minutes usually, the turn timer, which is going to be 8 minutes for this one, and then the battle timer, which is going to be 2 minutes. So you start with 60 minutes, every single new turn you get 8 minutes added to your complete timer pool, and you get 2 separate minutes to do every single fight individually. The turn timer is not, the battle timer is not added to your full timer in case you finish the fight early. So do keep that in mind. Usually I play a shorter timer, 12.62 in my matches, but this is a generally accepted timer as well. The timer, of course, you can play whichever one you prefer. In today's match, we're of course picking Castle. When picking Castle, the starting choice is gonna be Valeska. Early Castle gameplay revolves around using Marksman to accomplish as many things as you possibly could. And also in this match, we are not emulating the starting gold trade. So we're gonna be starting with 10,000 gold because we play on expert difficulty, as the online matches usually do. And we're going to be picking the starting bonus to be artifact as well. And we shall be playing through a biome and showing you how to break early, how to break strong, what you should be looking for, and what you should be doing. Let's get right into the match. We shall be keeping any biome that we find. Anything will do. It seems like we have a champion dwelling immediately. That's pretty cool. So first thing you want to do is you want to go into your tavern and see what kind of heroes you have. We have a Beatrice and an Aislinn. Aislinn is pretty good for his meteor shower ability immediately. He can be used to cheese some fight that would otherwise be pretty hard. First of all, we should buy Beatrice. She gives us our castle starting army, which is pretty cool. She also gives a little bit of scouting. And you want to be placing fast creatures on your heroes that you get out of your castle. The faster, the better. We don't have anything about speed 6 in this situation, because your hero's boom points are calculated based on the slowest creature in your army. In this case, it's going to be speed 6, which is not bad. We immediately have a pikeman dwelling. That's going to be not bad whatsoever. Going to be some extra army. And we also have a master gremlins block on the road. So yes, the first step in almost every single match is going to be to scout out your surroundings. You want to see what's going on around you so you can actually make a way better plan. So you can actually get things done, right? I do have currently a Lacus that has tactics, but that's not very helpful against the Master Gremlins anyway. I think I will use the Aislinn's Meteor Shower in order to deal with the Master Gremlins instead. So we should be upgrading the archers into marksmen when we are ready for battle. And we shall be getting these creatures out into the fight. The first way that I will try to deal with the Master Gremlins is by overwhelming them with army so much that they will just want to not fight and flee. So let's try. I'm taking the whites here on purpose. This makes me be at -1 morale, but that's usually not a problem. Okay, they want to fight me. In that case, I shall maybe shower 1 and hit another. And hopefully this will be good enough. Ooh. The morale makes me lose 1 anyway. Okay. You can finish the fight with auto combat if you press Q on your keyboard. Then you'll get a prompt to accept it. Our Beatrice will be chaining the army back, and also I want to keep the whites on the Aislinn. The way that the Jebus Cross biome is structured is that you're going to be having 2 side towns in your biome. There's going to be one usually north and one south of your castle if you spawn on the left side. And you know, and there's going to be another road to the desert. Most likely, one of these 2 roads is going to be branching out. One leading to the town and one leading to the desert. I think that in this kind of setting, yeah, it's going to be more likely north. Because this hero ends up having the whites, which are very, very good units to take the site down, I'm gonna be moving him towards the site down instead of the break. Scouting the break is also like pretty good information, because then we would know what kind of break we have to prepare for. But that's gonna be happening later. For now, we want to get the army back. We have an income hero, that's pretty cool. We're gonna be taking the army and putting it back into the castle so we can then use it for some other fights as well. We're missing quite a bit of gold, so we're gonna be collecting the gold off the road in order to keep us going. And we have a training post. Training post is gonna be very, very useful to get even more gold if I need it. But it seems like we're gonna be pretty fine for gold. We have a treasure chest over here. Ooh, a pack of grandos. This is not a very easy training grounds to take. We would have to do some preparation before we do so, or we would have to prepare ourselves to lose some army into the fight. We have a garrison, a really great hero because he provides our kingdom with a ballista. This makes it so I don't have to buy one myself. And also, I do not have any speedy creatures left to give to my side heroes, which is a shame. Currently, we are looking to still scout the break side. We're looking to open up the training post and open up the Pixie Road. So what we'll do is we can just give the army over to garrison. Then the army should be alongside the ballista as well. And then we can go ahead and clear the Nims. Garrison, by the way, could also be a potential main, but I usually prefer my Valeska over a bad barbarian, but I would prefer a good barbarian over Valeska. So that's done. Then we also clear the pixies. Should be a rather straightforward fight. There we go. We are able to chain the army back, but I don't see a reason for it. The only thing that I could do with the army if I were to chain it back would be to get the crypt. So I feel like pushing the army along with garrison is actually a sufficiently good idea as well. We have a Lacus. Lacus has a speed 7 unit of his own, so he doesn't need any speedy unit from anywhere outside. Right now what we're looking for is we're looking for ways to generate the army, and we're looking to make a plan for the biome. One thing should lead into another for you to become strong. So far, I'm looking to get some army and build up my hero. Heroes can be built up by just taking some mercenary camps, some treasure chests for experience. We could be looking to take artifacts. We could be doing plenty of things now. Currently, I'm still treating my Valeska as a main hero. So I'm potentially thinking of going for the treasure chest over here for some experience on her. I'm also thinking for the potential of a mercenary camp being picked up on her. I think that this mercenary camp, followed by these two treasure chests, will provide her a sufficiently good enough experience to get her going. And then we could potentially also do the fight for the sake of the sword. It looks like there's another sword there, or that's the beginning of the creature. But of course we'll have to uncover the guard and see if it's actually doable or not before committing to it. Because she is a main hero, I want the Griffin to be taken by her, so she will end up being faster. I could have also taken the Lacus' creature too. That would have been a good idea. Well, at least Lacus is going to be faster. We can take the treasure chest for some experience, and we can chain the army here forward. Well, I'll keep the army in Caitlyn. Keeping it on Caitlyn will let me react to scouting anything. If we scout something good to take here, we'll be immediately able to push Caitlyn forward in order to take it. If we scout something on the other side of the map, we'll be able to return the army and go to that side instead. Lazio's the Torsar, we have an extra ballista, which is pretty useful usually in castle, because if I were to take a Portal of Glory, I would probably break my ballista in order to do so. So yes, Caitlyn stands around here. SRT is not really important to pick up. It has like no effect. The only times where I would pick it up would be to sack it in an altar sacrifice, but currently we still don't see one. So wasting movement points for the sake of this is usually not the best idea. Unless you have like spare ones, then sure. Our turn is done. We cannot buy another hero. We cannot build a castle. All the heroes are out of movement points, so let's move on to the next one. There we go. First off, I will push the Aislinn, who has a very clear goal of getting to the site down and claiming it. While doing so, we also get to scout out quite a bit of the biome. we see a barracks, which is a way to actually build up some army. If I get the barracks in the main and get this external barracks, that will already be a swordsman, which is a pretty good size stack in order to prevent my marksman from getting hit and so on. We also see a conservatory, a really great valley creature bank that will allow me to get some angels somewhere down the line. Also, I discarded my moon point, so I'm not able to claim the town on this turn, which is a little bit of a shame. This means that I cannot scout the conservatory size on this turn as well. So yeah, this could have been played better, for sure. I know. What I will do is I will give Gurnison the ballista, and I will send him out without the army, and now he will actually be able to take the site down, most usually, unless there are some range or big guards, because the ballista is actually sufficient enough to take a site down on the zone already, and then we will be using Torsor's ballista instead, putting both ballistas to good use immediately. But this time actually we have a change of plans because we see it on observatory. This will give us a way better idea of what our biome is like. We see a gold mine. We see both gold mines. So we could actually go for pretty income heavy gameplay. We also see the other town. It is unprotected, so it's going to be a really easy take for us. Apart from, in terms of army, we see a hive. A single hive is not really going to get you that far. So our Gurnison goes back to the road. And he's going to be looking to take the town. I'm going to be looking to take the town. That will let me a lot of income and other good things. I could get Lacus to do the gold mine over here. Because we currently don't see a clear plan, receiving income while you have nothing much else to do is a really good idea. Having income will allow you to react to whatever plan pops up down the line. We currently see a picket. This picket is like heavily overguarded because there's many things alongside it. Dread Knights will not be an easy fight. So yes, we continue scouting in search of a plan. Our Beatrice could chain the army over to Valeska, and also, I think our Beatrice should be the hero to scout out the fight over here. It is a pack of gold golems. This is a really good thing. These are takeable very easily on Valeska immediately, meaning that we'll be able to build some power really early on. We get some levels from the church chest, we get some experience from the fight as well, we get an artifact, and we will be sufficiently strong to take some bigger fights as well. So what we do now is we have to decide whether we go for the gold mine first or not. And I think in this case it's going to be enough. Bleeding army early on will limit my options of what I'm able to do a little bit later on. So because of that, despite the gold mine being pretty good, we shall avoid it for now. And we shall be still scouting around for better options of what we want to do. We have 260 spare points before reaching the castle, so we can use these to pick up some things local to the road. There we go. And then we buy the Torsar as planned, so we can have the ballista help us out here. We can buy the rest of the pikemen now because we have the gold to do so. And then Torsar is going to be supporting our Valeska. So we go behind her. She is going to be claiming the experience. It's only 500. But since I have an abundant amount of gold by this point, I will take that over the gold anyway. So right now we are going to do our first fight, which is going to be the diamond golems. Torsar has tactics, by the way, so he's going to be a really good contender to do the black tower that we see a little bit north of the road. That is most likely going to be our second objective. There we will get another artifact, potentially a good one, not necessarily though. Shoot this one here. And then melee. We are good to go. We can take the retaliation off as well. So we can hit again, and we position them in a way that they are blocked from hitting the marksman. Then we can kill the last stack, and then we can finish them off. We have logistics as a level up. A knight usually does not roll the best of skills, so this is a really great opportunity. She usually doesn't go for it, so we will pick it up. We'll pick up both the swords, so we have basically a choice of what we want to use. The fight could have also been done by a side hero to save some more moves from Valeska, but she kinda needs the experience anyway. So it turns out to be fine. We have another hero slot if we want to take it. We could have Stork for the gem income, which would not be a bad idea whatsoever. Would I have any spot to place the Stork towards? Yes, I could set up a chain to go north over to my Iceland. The idea would be to claim the barracks over here and also check out the conservatory size. Well, the conservatory size would be pretty easy to scout anyway. No, actually, I'm gonna be leaving this hero about here. The idea is that I really want... No. I'm gonna be having an extra hero slot because I'm gonna be putting Garrison in a town that will let me get another hero out in the field. Then Caitlyn will be that other hero that will deliver the swordsman over to the army. Then we're gonna be picking up extra swordsmen, putting us at 8. And that already is a really great power stack. Not a really great power stack, but a very useful one. One that will get me started in this match. So we pass the turn. Beatrice is going to be scouting down the road first in order to see what the break is. Unfortunately, the road is blocked. I don't think I want to go all the way here to fight with orcs right now. Orcs are a pretty tough guard. They would kill some of my marksmen, which I currently don't want to have happen. And unfortunately, the break information is completely sealed off. Right now we can use the Torsar for the sake of the Black Tower. We want to have the sword that is going to give us more attack. This is going to be better for the fight, and then using tactics we'll be able to protect ourselves so we can kill the dragon without it doing too much harm. We protect the marksman and the pikemen while also preventing the breath from happening. At least towards the important units. Slightly misplaced this one, so I cannot actually cover the big stack. I mean, that will get hit for some damage. Turns out to be still okay. We get hit twice, okay. That's pretty painful. You should not do that. Namely, I mean... yeah, there was a better way to do that. We get a really good artifact, Hideous Mask. This prevents any morale from happening except for Minotaurs and Angels from the AI. That's a really high value artifact. I'm very happy to receive this. It's going to be very helpful for us moving forward. We can take more experience on the Valeska. We end up rolling Earth on level 3. Wow. That is pretty amazing. Not something that you always get. You can work without Earth magics as well, easily. But it is a very helpful thing to have. More experience, please. We got the logistics level up. We can scout out the fight over here. It is the Ring of Oblivion. It's not a useful artifact for us right now. So instead we just move forward with Valeska. We're looking to get more experience and do the Kansa if it's minimum. Alright, I was actually planning to get the swordsman now, which I didn't do yet. Okay. We can get the garrison into the town. We're overkilling by 470 moons, so we can use these moon points in order to claim some of the things around as well. Treasure chest is going to be better. And we'll put the hero inside, so we can then get our Caitlyn outside. For now, we can still chain the army over the Sora. Sora can pick it up, and yes, okay, this will work. We buy the barracks, we buy the swordsman, and we chain forward, along with the rest of the army. We're not very likely to use it in any of the very upcoming fights, but having the option to use it is still really good. So we'll keep this army pretty local. Pick up the rest of the swordsmen, and that is an 8 swordsman power stack. Really wonderful. So the army is getting better. It would look far better if we didn't lose all those pikemen into the Black Power tier, naturally. But it is what it is. You claim both the side towns. With 2 Necrocytons, there is a possibility to actually double build vampires, but I don't think that should be what we're looking to do. Ooh, we see a very high value objective. This box will provide us with quite a bit of power. Potentially. We also see a box over here that we could go for. But this one is really, really far. It would be hard to get to. We see another conservatory, so we actually are building up some potential angels to be farmed. Meaning that we kind of want to build the Portal of Glory in the main too, to potentially buy Archangels as well, down the line. This fight is gonna be really, really good. Trolls are a very easy guard compared to what they actually end up giving us a reward. I am 1 step away from being able to make my Valeska faster. That is a little bit unfortunate. And could have been avoided with better management. We can build the marketplaces, but then again, we have a training post, so we don't have a big need to do so. So for now, we'll just stay like this. We are prepared for the troll fight coming up next turn. Oh, I have a tendency to look at the tavern to see what the opponent is doing as well, but because since we're playing against the AI, in this case, it will not really matter. We get a nerf level. That is the worst thing to level up right now. The leadership or archery would help me immediately in the fight coming up. Instead, we get the thing that would also only help me down the line. Also, I feel like in this fight we should be using the undead meat. This will let me tank quite a bit of damage. So, and with leadership, we will be able to negate the negative morale as well. So, with this army setup, we will be going straight into the fight. There we go. This is very likely going to be something like 10,000 experience, which would be the perfect outcome right now. Oh. Well, no. I have another turn left to guard my marksman, since they can fend off the stacks for now themselves as well. They are pretty likely to focus the ballista, because trolls are not very smart. And AI in general is not very smart. They end up actually focusing the army, which is the thing that you should be doing. They focus the skeletons. We don't really care about the skeletons, so we're pretty happy to see this be a thing. We could potentially kill you, but no, we don't really want to do that. We killed you here though, because they're getting a little bit close to the marksman. Okay. And now we can finish them off. Finish, finish. Great fight, we only lost the unimportant meat. And then we get 10,000 experience. We can get all these great skills that we collect on a Valeska up to expert from this. And we didn't roll any skills that we would like to... We didn't roll any new skills that we would like to upgrade either. So right now, because we have the earth magics at expert, we would like a spellbook with slow, and then we can actually do some harder fights as well. I'm looking potentially at the fight over here. It is a big conservatory. I'm not able to do this quite yet, even with the expert slow. I would be lacking a little bit on damage, but if I were to take the picket first, then that could lead into the conservatory after. The other objectives would be the rocks. They wouldn't be hard at all, but they would be a lot of investment, time-wise, for the sake of not that big of a reward. So we're still looking for other objectives to do instead. Something that we are definitely doing this turn is going to be poor manning our Valeska. What I mean by poor manning is we will be going... I'm gonna take the Hades mask so I don't die. To poor man's is to teleport using this one simple strategy. And here it goes. You can surrender, not surrender, rather retreat your hero into any object, okay? You would retreat and then you can buy them out in a tavern. Using this clever trick, you can go great distances away. And in this turn, we will be building the Mage Guild, as well as the Spellbook. We end up having slow immediately, so that is very, very good for us. So there we go. Now we will be having mana, we have a spell book, and we have the spell that we want to cast. That is really wonderful. Good setup so far. Right now we can get the army back over to Valeska, but Valeska would not be able to use it immediately. Instead, we want to be figuring out what we do with our current status. There are a few options. I could go for the Pandora box over here. That would not be a bad idea at all. Another idea is to push for the picket, and then after the picket, we would then be able to probably do a conservatory. Then we can do the other conservatory, and then with a pile stack of angels, almost no matter what the break is, they would be able to handle it with ease. That is the power of Castle. Access to angels and archangels. We want to be collecting some local resources because we are not using the zeros in any sort of different way. I could chain the army here for the warrior's tomb, but it's like pretty weak. We do actually have an altar sacrifice that we could use for getting experience, but then again, we have all the skills at the level that we want them at. And by the way, I think I just figured out what I want to do on my Valeska. You see, a conservatory looks like this, right? And the bottom right part looks like this. So I think this is a conservatory, and 60% of the time we will be able to do it, okay? 60% of the time. Meaning that if it's tier 1 or tier 2, and tier 1 and tier 2 are 30% chance respectively. Well, doesn't matter if it's respectively, but yes. There we go. So now, with a plan in mind, all that's left there is to execute. And it seems like we'll be playing off of creature banks rather than building the army. What this means to me is that we probably want to build stables, so we're going to be faster. So that's exactly what I'll do, pretty much immediately. We could also potentially get a new hero out in order to support us, to get the army back, or maybe to do something else. When I get the angels, I'm very likely to be able to do that picket over there. Oh, and by the way, I can get the picker drum out here towards this direction immediately, so I can check the sides of the conservatory so I don't waste my moves on the main in order, you know, to go for an objective in vain. I'm very, very hopeful for that conservatory. So with all that in mind, our Valeska is going to be fast and very ready, and we can move on to the next turn. Ideally, this is going to be a tier 2 conservatory. We don't know the size yet, but we need to know this. So we'll pick up the... Oh, we see a Portal Glory. That is very interesting. So we check out the size of the conservatory. It is a size 3. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to safely take it quite yet. So instead, the plan is going to be quite different. We are going to be chaining the army back as planned. This means that Caitlyn moves are not that important, meaning that she can use her moves in order to scout out more before I end up moving. This is a slightly better sword than the ones that I currently have, but not enough better for me to care too much about it. So we get the army back. Then we can get another hero to get it all the way back. And we'll also be building the stables. Stables is going to provide me with a lot of value. It's going to make my heroes move... it's going to allow my heroes to move quite a bit more than they otherwise would be able to. We can also now check out the black market. If you can check them out, then they're, you know, they could provide you with some nice bonuses. But usually they're not worth going out of your way for. It's just that my hero had extra moves left over that he would not have used anywhere else otherwise. The Crown is a good RT, and the Keep of Countering is a very good RT in our situation. We currently can cast slow, but it will only be lasting 2 turns. Keep of Countering would make it last 3 extra turns. And that is really powerful. Compared to Ribcage, that would be making it last 2 extra turns, and also this is half the price as well. So we can invest a little bit of Mercury for the sake of this item. It's going to be a very nice addition to my Valeska. With the addition of this item, I'm thinking that I could actually possibly grab a tier 3 conservatory with some fighting skills. But then again, I feel like that fight would be pretty exceptional and not very repeatable. Because of that, I will rather farm the Portal of Glory first and then Only then will I come back for this item afterwards. We are now looking to build an Angel Power Stack in order to, you know, just have an army that will be able to do great things for me. This is what Castle is all about. Sometimes you have to play off of other things, such as the Cavaliers, or maybe just other types of creature banks. Every single map is unique, so you have to adapt it to your own situation. But, you know, the most important part is to scout, then try to make a plan, and then execute upon that plan. And if you have nothing to execute, then you just scout more until you'll be able to figure it out. Almost every single Jebus map has a way. Not literally every single one, but most of them. So let's go. We would be able to hit up the Lisbon as well, for the sake of the gold mine, but there's a horde of them. I don't really fancy losing any of my marksmen before some of the important fights that are coming up. So with that, we'll be skipping that. We can instead farm the crib, that will give me a nice little arty as well. Oh, we're actually gonna get hit by the whites. That kinda sucks. But so be it. Oh, Dragonborn Greaves. Another arty for the sake of boosting Velasquez casting. Very nice. So next turn, we will be claiming the Portal of Glory, and then we'll be starting the setup for the sake of the conservatories. We have big cons over here, big cons over here, and big cons over here. The last one is relatively far, so I will want to do it on side heroes. So I want to be starting to set up a chain earlier into the match, so I can then execute it better. Some of the heroes here that don't really have a purpose in any specific chain will be able to scout out and claim more resources. They're basically just looting. We have many heroes that no longer have a purpose, so they can be used just to scout. However, you should not feel bad about using heroes like this. If you need a chain at some point, then you will be able to put them back into good use. Until then, they are free to collect whatever you need. Like this, you can build a really, really good resource pool, as we have now. And also, we are looking to chain the last conservatory by the time we have angels on the side hero. And now, we have 2 heroes in the chain here to do so already. So when we are ready, these 2 heroes will be very, very helpful to us. So then... Ooh, that's a nasty fight for the sake of the Portal of Glory. But nonetheless, this is our plan, so we have to bite a little bit of loss in order to claim this. There is not really another way forward. Well, we could actually play without the Portal of Glory too. We would just buy a single angel from the Portal of Glory in the base instead, and use that to kite the angels in order to claim it. Claim the first conservatory, and then the other ones would fall after. The guy loses. That's got a bit of damage. We are able to slow them. Slowing them will let the swordsman close the distance, will let the pikeman close the distance. That's gonna be pretty decent. Hopefully they will be morale-ing in one of the 2 upcoming turns that they're moving. The pikeman here is doing a pretty good job. We should be probably magic arrowing some of them. There we go. And we're able to execute that one. No morale. No morale. That's okay. With this, we're able to finish this fight, and then we will be able to go for the Portal of Glory. By the way, the guard size for this fight actually tells us that there's more than 1 castle zone out there. Most likely, not necessarily. That could be useful information for later. Now, using the ballista, the magic arrows, as well as the marksman damage, we should be able to do this fight without losing. The ballista will come really in handy, because it will tank for multiple turns for us. We also have +3 morale, so we could be expecting 1 or 2 parts of that. All this damage added up should be making this fight not too difficult. The fact that we have to use swordsman 1 stacks is kind of painful, because these guys are pretty good. And this is a pretty wasteful way to use them. We're able to bang them down. With this, I can recruit the angel. And now we have our first angel of the match. Now, here's the unfortunate part. The fortunate part is that we have an angel. The unfortunate part is that we are not strong enough to do a tier 3 conservatory because we lost too many marksmen, meaning that we will have to wait until 1-1 to claim the first concept. The good part is that we can set up chains that the moment that the first concept falls, most of the other ones will fall at the same time. What this will lead into is a pretty strong break with a really good amount of army and a pretty good hero, but it's gonna be not a very early break. So that's how it's gonna go. Our Valeska currently has some downtime. She's not gonna be doing much for a little while, so we can use this time to actually just farm up some things local to this side. And I'll want her to start her 1-1 the first day of the second week on the conservatory and farm it immediately. Absolutely immediately. Right now we are building the monastery in the main, so we can then build the angels on the following turn. And we'll be able to use this angel to claim some objects as well, possibly. Like the gold mine, I could do that. What else I could do? I feel like there's some useless heroes, such as the Sora. She has some income, but that doesn't really matter. We have gems for days. Instead, it would be far more useful to get someone like Gernison out that was staying in the castle here. And he's able to collect quite a bit more than that hero ever could right now. We can also delete the Lacus in order to get an extra hero to support the chain that's going to be happening on that side of the map. What I mean by that is that because Valeska is starting the turn on the conservatory, there's going to be nobody actually claiming the Portal Glory Angel. So we want somebody to do it, and that's going to be the Jagar. That's his role right now. There we go. Next turn. On this turn, we are building the Portal Glory, collecting even more resources, and then we are setting up a glorious chain to do quite a few things for us that we need to have done. I am seeing a 1-2 break here in this map, and that should be good enough to probably win the match as well, considering how insanely powerful our army will be. Gold here is better than 1k XP. 1k XP, 500 XP doesn't really do much at all. Valeska's really strong, so she's able to take these kind of fights with ease. We can bait them backwards. They give our marksmen some time to shoot. Offense! What an amazing Valeska we are having right now. Can also claim some more. And then we end the turn on the conservatory. For now, we will be making her fast as well. Meanwhile, Jagar is going to carry this army around. Jagar will not be able to make it all the way there, but that's going to be okay enough. Because the Sable Hero that will be coming out to help from the main is going to be making up for the rest of the movements. Right now, I want to be setting up the last of the chain for this conservatory. So here's the idea that I'm having. The furthest and the hardest thing to chain is going to be the conservatory over here. It's really far off-road, and it's really hard to get to. So if I end up having like my Angel Army 1-1, immediately take the conservatory over here on the Valeska, by that point I have enough angels that the other conservators are going to be a joke, even on side heroes. With that in mind, I'm going to be doing the hardest one initially. So 1-1, I end my army ends its turn on the conservatory, and then at the start of 1-2, I will be able to chain it back and then use it in other places immediately as well. So that will turn out nicely. Then 1-2, I will be using the angels immediately to farm the last of the conservatories, and then I will get the army to Valeska, who is probably going to be ready to go for the break as well. Right now, Caitlyn is a useless hero, and I want another hero to be over at the conservatory place to help out with the chains. Could have actually just used loins for this. I didn't need to buy a new hero. We are also able to secure the gold that we need to build all of this by using the training post quite a bit. We want to be having 10 left of every resource in order to have the option of going for Archangels too. Usually, if I currently had at least one Dragon Utopia in the biome, it would be a really good idea to do the Dragon Utopia and use the gold in order to build Archangels. But so far, for us, that is not an option, unfortunately. It would be a very, very cool and a very, very strong option at the same time. We want to be having Beatrice reachable by a new hero from the castle town. And then we want this hero to be reaching Dessa so he can then chain the army out to the conservatory over here. So we can claim all the angels in this area. So, one by one, we shall be claiming all the angels that we possibly can. And that will make us really, really strong. That is the plan that we deem to be the best. In this case, scenario. So currently, I think most of the chains add up, and we will be able to use this. Torsar is not really doing much, but he will be actually setting up to use, as a part of the chain for the next turn. With that in mind, I do want to stable him up. That's why I will be starting his new week in the actual castle. Then we pass the turn. Most usually, at least in decent lead rating matches, you would be breaking like 1-1, so that would be on this turn. Because 1, the break is far away, and 2, we don't really have any creature banks to get us started in this map. We weren't really able to do so. But 1-2, with this many angels, will still be really competitive even against the best of the players. Well, unless they're like super high rolling. But you know, if that happens, then so be it. Now, we take the angel from here and get it over towards the Valeska. And then we also grab the angels from the main. And this will net me a grand total of 5 angels. 1, 1, and 2. Oh yeah, there's one over here. Haha. For a moment there, I got a little bit worried, but no, the masks are not off. They seem to be on point. I can also grab the monks. They're usually not really that good, but in this case, I feel like they will do an adequate job. Not a good job, but an adequate one, nonetheless. We will then chain forward with the Sanya. We want to be leaving the Lizardman in order to use the town portal strategy to get her into a better spot, because she is our main, so her moon points are really valuable to us, and we don't really want to be wasting them. We should have traded this guy first, but that's okay. Everything onto Sanya. Yes, like this. Then, using the army, we will be able to claim the first of the conservatories, which we have scouted out to be tier 3. These guys are going to be in reach of the angels. I don't really want that to be... they're reaching... The griffins are reaching our shooters. We don't really want that. So for now, we'll just reposition a little bit. We're going to be waiting for our angels to carry us through this fight. We can also bait them a little bit. That seems pretty good. We're able to shoot the second one. Place our shooters in the corner, so they're going to be like more free to shoot. And the pikemen can bait a little bit more. Seems pretty okay. Angel is immortal. Not literally, by the way. There we go. With a loss of a few pikemen, we ended up securing the first conservatory, putting us at a grand total of 8 angels, which is an insane amount of army for this stage of the game. So I'm very, very happy with that. With this, I'm going to be able to pour mans into the fight over here, the Lizardman. We could potentially buy out the Adelaide first for the meat, but I don't really care about that for now. So we go and we retreat. Okay, we saved Adelaide actually. Might be a chance. That's pretty okay. We're able to pull the army back and put it inside. We can then delete one of the existing heroes like Jagar for the sake of a hero slot so we can put it to better use. Actually, Torso can be the one to chain the army forward into the right side of the map. And I think that I will be saving one angel to make my main hero faster, that is going to be Valeska. And then we can also... I think I should be saving the marksman as well. So this is going to be the forces that will take the other conservatory. We will also buy the Valeska out immediately. This is because I kept the Hideous Mask on her. And the Hideous Mask should be used on the Torsar as well. To make the fight a little bit better. We can also bring some Griffins too. Faster 1 stacks are pretty cool. In case that conservatory is max, it's not gonna be as easy as it could be. Because we're chaining through the mercenary camp, may as well check it. Those are gargoyles, we don't really care about them. So there we go. By the way, for positioning in conservatories, you usually want to be fighting into the left side of the battlefield. So with this in mind, you want your units to be, your shooters to be, and the more vulnerable stacks to be at 1, 3, and 6. This will make them on the be on the left side of the battlefield. Basically, you can think about the battlefield in a creature bank as rows. Okay, the first row of combat is the first two of the hexes. I mean slots in your army. Then the second row is 3 units, so that's gonna be your 3, 4, and 5. And then the last row is 2 again. Those are these 2 over here. So you want your squishy and veritable army to be on the first slot of every single row, which is of course 1, 3, and 6. Then they're gonna be easier to protect, because there are less stacks on the left side of the battlefield of the opponent, right? There's only 2 stacks on the left and 3 stacks on the right, meaning left equals safer, especially if you kill them immediately. So there we go. We use Stone Skin on angels. It will not do much, but it might give us a little bit of a nicer time. We will be retreating with the monks with the possibility of sometime down the line being able to shoot at least once or twice. We'll see. These guys are moving fast, so what this means that they will actually not be able to hit us if we hit the Griffin, because the Griffin acts as a body shield for us, which is really cool. We also want to kill 1 stacks, especially ones that are moving fast, because they would take the retaliation away from us, so they're able to hit us without actually receiving any damage back. Right now the best stack to hit is this one. The reason is because they're moving last, meaning that them being low, it's going to reduce damage taken by us by more over a few tons. Then we hit the last moving big stack, it's going to be this one. And then we hit the last big stack, and now we're pretty good to go. We ended up using quite a bit of meat for this, but for the sake of angels, everything is worth it. Even if we put our meat into the grinder. There we go. If we managed to chain better, we could have actually potentially planned for the Cape of Velocity, but in this case, it's not really that important. So we'll be able to chain the army back. We will also be able to hit up the crypt, and so on. We could even chain the army in a pretty clever way by going up to the orcs. But that seems like kind of like a meh idea. Oh, am I able to reach the orcs on the Valeska? Oh, we are. Okay. Then we'll do that. We can go really far in the Valeska. It's gonna be a full moves break almost. The break seems to be really easy. Nagas. One of the easiest breaks in the game, but then again, this kind of army that we currently have built would be able to do even the hardest of breaks. And we're pretty close to Archangel still. We will be deleting Stania to get another hero in a more relevant slot. Right now, there's only one big, juicy objective left to farm in the biome, and that is the Griffin Conservator over here. So you want to be setting up better for the sake of this. A new hero will get the army to Lena. Lena will then get the Conservatory and chain the army back to Road. And then A new hero from the town is gonna be able to get the army to Iceland, and Iceland will get the army over to my Valeska. And that is the very simple chain that we have thought of just in the few last moments, and it's probably gonna be good enough. So there we go. We also probably want to delete the ghost so our Adelaide ends up being faster. It's not like we'll be using the ghost anyway. Is Beatrice stable? No, if she was stable, then I would actually be able to head up the Nagabank here, which would be a really good amount of gold for us to get, which will eventually become Archangels, most likely. Then yeah, let's go ahead and start by doing the crypt. Of course, it's very, very easy. Then, along the way, Thorsar can head up the other crypt. It's very, very easy. We can grab the rest of the meat that we have available. Of course, to make sure to not forget our artifacts as we change from one hero to another. Then after this, we don't really have... I would like to head up the Medusa stores, but I don't have the moves for it. It would probably be still worth it anyway. But for now, we won't. I'm pretty sure that using only angels by now is gonna net me better results. I will be losing less army for the sake of completing this objective. Actually, it's a little bit dangerous. I think we should make one stack of an angel so we are able to use it to kite to set up hits for free from the other angel stack. This is pretty nasty. The fact that there's so many is gonna be very, very dangerous for us. For now, we'll stay over here in order to get the other ones away. Yeah, this is way harder than I expected it to be. To be fair, they're doing about 1/3 damage, so a single hit wouldn't kill the angel immediately. This is the first one to move as well. That's pretty bad. Okay, so I'm basically not getting angels here because I was too greedy to take some meat. A very enormous mistake by me. Ones that you shouldn't do. We'll be able to preserve quite a few angels by just morale kiting. Currently, we have quite a bit of morale, so we're gonna be getting quite a few of these procs. And we're gonna be able to use them for the sake of the hitting for free. We could actually... Oh yeah, because they can morale because of my item. We could have done this with 10 angels from the very beginning, and we would have been fine. So yeah. I should place myself in a position where the 2-stack can hit, but the 40-stack can't hit. This will let me kill it for free. And then we can just wall this one, yeah? Yeah. There we go. Still 3 angels gained. Really, really good outcome. Of course, could have been better. Should have been better. So then with this, we can get the new hero to chain the army over to my Iceland. And then Aeson is connecting over to Valeska, who is ready to break into the desert with 14 angels, which is pretty ridiculous, despite the slow pickup of the biome. And then we'll be playing out this turn into the desert too, and see how strong we can get in a single turn here. Slowing here is probably a pretty good idea. Our slow lasts for 7 turns because of the item that we have, the Cape of Conjuring. I can immediately start slaying on angels. These guys are monsters. Interference would be good against some factions, but in general I like to skip it in the mid-game. We could grab some giants, but I have more ambitions. I feel like with this army, we should be contesting the opponent immediately and not letting him do much at all. Right now, the best objectives to take for this Valeska would be Utopias. We should be going into straight Utopias. Unfortunately, our desert currently has none to offer, which is a shame. As you can see, these angels are going to be able to carry me through the entirety of the desert, no problem. And we are very likely able to farm most of the desert in the first turn that we're here, which is absolutely amazing. Oh, by the way, Castle Metal. This is what I was saying about there being multiple castle zones. That's why the Portal Glory guards were bigger, because guards for army boxes and dwellings are actually based on the amount of the zones with the same faction as you. It's a pretty weird thing in the game, but that is what it is. We're now looking for a reachable taupe or maybe some relics to take. So far, we don't really see much at all. Once these heroes in the biome, apart from picking up a few resources, are going to be pretty useless, so we can delete them in order to gain more hero slots for the sake of farming the desert, which of course is going to be taking the main priority right now. So far we've seen, like, this is a pretty garbage desert so far, not gonna lie. We are able to claim more gold from the... Oh, we actually have another portal glory. I mean, this is way too hard to scout. This one we already barely saw. We should be using an extra hero for the sake of trading away many of the resources so we can then better farm the desert. Intius is gonna take the angels. And we can shoo away the golems from here. Cool. A decent little side hero. Don't want to go too far. I still want to be in reach. Then right now the play for this one would be pretty obvious. We would be staying with all the armies so we don't get killed accidentally here. Then if the opponent contests us and fights us, we're very likely to win because our army is like pretty insane. And if the opponent doesn't contest us and doesn't fight us right now, we are then able to claim the Utopias and use the town gate in order to upgrade the angels. So here's how the next turn would go. Let's actually play it out, since it looks decently fun. Everything that is not angel right now is meat. And it's gonna be used like meat. Well, okay, we can save it for the sake of the Lich fight. We don't need it for this fight, and it would just be dying in vain. Like in the last Lich fight. So yeah, we'll use all of this army. And we shall push into the Utopia. This is a tier 3 Utopia. That's pretty good. The bigger the better. In our case. The Glorious Angels will live on. They actually killed one. Where's the auto combat? Kick W. Angel Wings is pretty good. Oversold is pretty good. Then here's what we're able to do. We are able to take away everything. Able to go back to Armitage. Then we can upgrade the Portal of Glory. And now we need like 26 gems. I know we traded out quite a bit of gems, but then again, gems are abundant in these kind of biomes, as you can see. So trading gems is not a problem, because you're most likely going to be able to collect more anyway. What kind of heroes do we have? We have this guy, he's very important. Dorsar is able to claim. And claim. Okay. Then... Oh, Gurney! Welcome back, Dean. We can trade up some of this as well. We're very close to being able to upgrade. Very close. This probably gets me down. There we go. Now behold the power of the Archangels. 13 Archangels. They're almost NWC Trinity kind of power, which is ridiculous. We also have some relics. We can fly now. We are very ludicrously strong. And with this, you're gonna be able to beat almost anyone. This was a pretty slow game, but then again, a pretty strong game nonetheless. Castle is one of the only factions that can be slow and strong at the same time. We're able to chain the enemy back into the desert immediately, because we automatically set up a chain by going here once. And then this army can come back to the Valeska and we can use it immediately for the sake of the other taupe, for example. That's gonna be a really good objective to go for. But we are like one move away from getting it. A shame, shame. By this point, the angels are just gonna absolutely destroy things. Annihilate the stuff. Wait, what is this? Losing angels, not on my watch. Oh, teapot, boots, and yes, with these kind of stats, this kind of army, this would be pretty good to win almost anything. So, I'll be doing more of these playthroughs to give you an idea of what you should be looking for. After seeing a few examples and me talk over it, you should be able to start forming your own plans on how you proceed with any specific map and given situation. Like this, you shall be a good player in the Hora lobby in no time. So, I don't think there's much left to mention. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Goodbye. Watch my Twitch.